I'm Sebastian St. James. This is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is not a value investor, and I'm here to tell you why. Who is the world's most famous investor? Warren Buffett. Which billionaire is famous for his honesty and integrity? Warren Buffett. Which billionaire is famous for his common sense advice to small investors? Oh, Warren Buffett for sure. Which billionaire is famous for being a value investor? Oh, Warren Buffett. Except Warren is not a value investor most of the time. ABC, a fantasy share, is trading at $10 per share. A value investor would firstly determine the share's fair price. So ABC, we determine the fair price is $15 for that share. Secondly, the value investor buys it at a discount. The fair value is $15. You buy it at $10, which is an excellent discount. And thirdly, the value investor waits for the share to reach fair value. A value investor buys a share at a discount. A discount to what? To fair value, whatever they calculate at. So they should know exactly when that share reaches that same price of fair value. So we bought the share at $10. The fair value is $15. It's now $15. Oh, we've arrived. So the last step that a value investor does is to sell the share. And there we go. ABC sold, made $5 profit per share, or 50%. Wow. This is the key point. A true value investor, once a share reaches fair value, sells it to free up that capital for his next opportunity, right? There's always another opportunity along the way. And if you keep your money locked in that share, once it's already at fair value, then you're no longer a value investor. You've got to rinse and repeat. If I buy a share at $10 and its true value is $15, once I get up to $15, what am I doing holding it? My job is done. Get out of there. Free up my capital. Two things an investor needs to know before buying a share is when to get in and when to get out. In other words, what conditions do you need to get into the share, but before you buy it, under what circumstances would you actually exit that position? In 1960, ABC's share is at a 40% discount. Excellent, I'll buy that myself. In 1962, after 2 years, ABC has reached fair value. In 1982, ABC is still fair value. Had you been holding that share for the first 2 years, you could claim to be a value investor for sure. For the next 20 years, no. You're a buy and hold investor. You definitely weren't a value investor for 20 years just because you bought it as a value investor. So we'll say 9% of the time, from 1960 to 62, you were a true value investor. But then after that, no. 91% of the time, you're in fact a buy and hold investor because a value investor would have sold it once it reached fair value. In this case, we didn't. How does this apply to Warren Buffett? In 1988, Warren Buffett bought $1 billion worth of Coca-Cola, about 6% of it. In 2022, he still holds it. Oh, so Warren Buffett buys shares like a value investor. That part is true, but then he holds them and holds them and holds them. So most of the time, Warren Buffett is actually a buy and hold investor, only for short periods of time. When he first buys a share, is he a value investor? And then after that, no, not so much. This is Benjamin Graham, who popularized value investing. Okay, that tricked about 90% of you. That's Benjamin Franklin, who invented the lightning rod and bifocals. This is Benjamin Graham, who looks nothing like Benjamin Franklin, who did write the definitive book on value investing called The Intelligent Investor. How do I know it's the definitive book on value investing? Because it says so on the cover. And here it is, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, the definitive book on value investing. You'll notice the preface and the appendix is written by Warren E. Buffett. That would be Warren Edward Buffett. And here he is saying it's by far the best book on investing ever written. He didn't write it, of course, but he wrote the preface. So, what's the connection between Warren Buffett and Benjamin Franklin? None. But there is a connection between Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham. Warren Buffett actually went to Columbia School of Business to be tutelaged by Benjamin Graham when he found out that he was actually lecturing there. And that's when they first met. After Buffett finished his education between 1954 to 1956, Buffett worked at the Graham-Newman Corp as a securities analyst. Graham-Newman Corp, as in Benjamin Graham? Yes. It was founded in 1936 between Benjamin Graham and his partner Jerome Newman, and it was liquidated in 1956. Oh, when Benjamin Graham retired. So Buffett actually worked there for the last 2 years of the company, when the company finished off after that, and so that's why Buffett left Benjamin Graham, because he retired. It's probably something you didn't know. Warren Buffett was heavily influenced by Benjamin Graham. I mean, it stands to reason. He went to the school specifically to be taught by him and then went to work for him. Benjamin Graham is a true value investor in the sense I've been describing in this video, as in buy low and then sell when you get to fair value. Buffett actually started his investing style exactly the same as Benjamin Graham's, no surprises there. Buffett calls that the cigar butt approach. You see a cigar butt on the street, you pick it up, have one last puff before throwing it away. That's what value investing was like early in his career. So he'd find a company that was cheap, he'd buy it, and when it got up to true value, he'd sell it, take out his capital, go to the next one, next one. Lots of churn, but definitely a true value investor back then. This is Charlie Munger, Warren's business partner. Charlie Munger is credited for moving Warren Buffett away from the cigar butt approach, which is, true value investing, over to what is now basically a buy and hold approach. Finding companies at a good value discount initially, sure, but then buying them and forgetting to sell them. So basically a buy and hold approach of good quality companies. So which is better, being a true value investor like Benjamin Graham was, or being the Charlie Munger version where you buy at a discount but then basically become a buy and hold investor for the next few decades? I have a video coming out which will answer the question for you, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Warren Buffett is a great investor and has many admirable qualities. However, being the poster child, the name that people bring up whenever they want to talk about a value investor, no, that should not be one of his qualities. That is all in the past. These days is really a buy and hold investor most of the time. Do you know there is a secret about index funds? What is it? Go ahead and click here and find out.